Welcome to Usmle Sarthi. We are committed to empowering IMGs. We're excited to guide you on your match journey. Don't forget to click subscribe and turn on notifications so you can get notified whenever we add new content. Also, follow us on Instagram and Twitter for the latest tips and tricks regarding everything USMLE. Now, let's dive into it.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is day 2 of our webinar, and today we are joined by Dr. Tranesh and other students who have done the rotations. In terms of housekeeping, how this will work is, our guests will go first, and you can ask questions in the chat. My team is also here. And after that, today is mostly about Q&A, so we'll go over the Q&A. So chat box is always open. You can ask questions in the chat. And without further ado, it's my great pleasure to welcome Dr. Tranesh, who's been helping our students for the past several years. He's a pathologist based out of Tucson, Arizona, so very close to where I am. And he's going to talk about what program directors look for in pathology rotations, tele-rotations versus on-site, and what you should be prepared for. So welcome, Dr. Tranesh. We are very glad that you can join us.
Thank you so much for having me. It is a pleasure and honor, and I will try my best to answer any question that any of the students have.
So, Dr. Tranesh, let's go over some of your background. What do you do? And then, I have questions that I've gathered from the students.
Sure. So briefly on my background, I did my medical school back in Libya. I started residency in the National Cancer Institute in Libya in anatomic pathology. Then I moved to the States and I started grad school in molecular pathology at the Ohio State University. Then I did my residency in Michigan in anatomic and clinical pathology. Then I did surg path fellowship at Mayo Clinic and cytopathology fellowship at the University of California. I started my work in the University of Arizona as a medical director for cytopathology. I moved to private practice. Now I do a lot of unknown primary, dermatopathology, surg path. It is a really wide range of cases. Regarding the academic part, I did a lot of publication and education and online, especially online, even the time before the COVID, which was weird for a lot, but I really was believing in that. And my belief kind of enforced after, what happened in COVID, that, education can be, especially in pathology, can be done by virtually, and a lot of benefits from that, and that it will be saving a lot of time and effort. Regarding the current rotation that we are conducting, so besides the regular rotations that we do with the focus on residency and how it is like, we get the best out of this, I do also online educations with my YouTube channel, interactive education, pathology interactive education. And we do also education for medical students for medical school. Regarding the regular rotation with the USMLE Sarthi students, so basically I wanted this part to be kind of, I tell the residents or I tell the students by that time that we are starting kind of a residency in a way that this is the daily, daily activities that we see every, virtual, real-time education, and we see cases and we kind of discuss them in depth, ask them, okay, details about the case we have. We ask them about things that they, to be ready and study. Maybe we go in details in how we exactly doing it later on. What is the program director is looking for an applicant? First of all, being part of the residency, committee, selection committee, I was part of it. First of all, the commitment to the department. We call it marrying to the department. So we don't like people who are like, showing or kind of you feel that pathology is a backup plan. I know more than 60%, even American, who are applying in pathology, they apply for other specialty. So this is a fact, even for American graduate, that they apply for that. But pathology, it is kind of a commitment in a way that it is different from the other parts of clinical, specialties. It needs a lot of intellectual, property and capability. It is very satisfying, field, but with a lot of, education and a lot of commitment. And what we are saying is the last word. Don't expect somebody else to come and say, no, we're wrong in this case. Usually what we say, people will go into it and this is the final. So that's why we have to be very precise in our them. But what we are looking, show that in your CV that you had some, background in pathology, in your medical education. And also this would be great if you show that, okay, I did like observership, anything that some experience postgraduate, that you're really pursuing that. That, of course, that will be very, very important with an MD pathologist, because I see that especially overseas that they will say, okay, we have a letter of recommendation of pathologist, but a PhD pathologist is not like an MD. So an MD, basically, you're looking for diagnostic part, not from the bench or research part. And after that, being kind of more specific, which is something that I like when I write anyone a letter of recommendation, like specifics, like, we would discuss this particular case, it was unique. We published some cases, what exactly was happened, like in details, in depth. So by this way, you will kind of convince the committee that this person really into pathology, or he has it. He can be, if we picked him, we can build something on what he's or she's having, and this will really make a good resident in future. That is in brief what we're trying to get here.
Okay. Now, so the other question, right?
Sure.
Tele versus on-site.
Sure.
So a lot of students always, maybe sometimes they're right that on-site rotations may carry more value, but how do you see this in pathology? Pathology is slightly different.
Yes, that's correct. So to make it very simple answer, but kind of not complete answer. Of course, if you are on site, that it weighs a little bit more. However, if I did like, telepathology, something that it has a value, because when I was at the university, I see a lot of rotators from, American graduate, most of them. So I'm saying this because usually there are no spots for international, like nobody is gonna really, really want to, give you the visa or work on the paperwork, on the vaccination, on the tons of stuff that to be there, it's a lot of work, to be honest. Like, since I was at Ohio State and after that different places, it's not an easy thing to have some rotator in the department, because a lot of paperwork and vaccination level and, visa thing and, security stuff, especially these days. So it is not something to start easy to have there. And after that, we see them there, and most of the time they're just sitting. They're just, everybody is busy doing his stuff. Like, rarely will find someone who really cares and tell you, even ask you about your name. So I see them, they're just shadowing first years, shadowing. Maybe some people are kind of like, okay, let's go to do autopsy. So they're doing a lot of autopsy. I mean, it's not 100% bad, but don't see there's a real kind of benefit of the time. While if you are Tilly and some person like person he really cares, you can get the best out of it. And again, like I've been enforcing that even before COVID, and after COVID becoming kind of a reality now. It's not an easy thing, Now it is a little bit better, but 2-3 years ago when we started this thing like real, no way, like you don't even ask to be like even resident, they can't sit with attending, discussing stuff, even there are people who are working. So, and this part, if you know or you select wisely, you can get the benefits of tele even better than in person. The other thing, everyone is busy with preparing for step 2, 3, doing some other stuff that while you're applying. So, and even some of them they are working. So you can have the time do both, do telepathology or rotation, whatever the some specialty, and you can attend your family, stay there, save a lot of resources you can use. in the application or any other things, or you can finish your steps. So in this part, and I am very flexible in a way that sometimes we do sessions in the weekend, sometimes after hours, sometimes we manage this. You have an exam. We can extend days the rotation. Don't worry, this week we are not going to take anything. Let's extend it to one more week. Don't worry about the thing. So in a nutshell, that both of them are helpful. Of course, you have to pursue them as much as you can. If you have the opportunity or you have resources to do in person, go with it. If you cannot, because what I'm talking to mostly international, that's what I'm from, and I really care about it. I'm trying to help in my position. So yeah, arrange it in a way that you can get the benefit of the telepathology as well, or telerotation.
The other question a lot of students have who are starting their rotations is, what should they be prepared with before they start the rotation? What is the basic level that you need them to know before they come for rotations?
Yeah.
Basic preparation.
Again, this is one of my strategy that I'm telling them, okay, you're gonna be like, this is your first year residency. So that part, sometimes if you have a basic of histology, that is fine. I'm not, expecting much, because medical school, frankly, doesn't prepare us to be a pathologist at all. Medical school is good for, some academic work, but when you start your residency, that is really, so not that much. However, it is not an easy thing. Just, when you sit with me, I don't just, give them spoon feeding. I told them that the kind of the shock that when you start in the beginning, that you see or you hear a lot of words, you see a lot of, new stuff, you'll be like, oh my God, I'm on the top of my head. I don't know what's going on. So, okay, that is what I want you to have in the beginning, at least to appreciate the level that you don't know. When I say some immune stains, when I say some genes, when I say some even simple tumors, you have like no idea what's about it. Okay, that's what's going to happen. If you have it right now, with the time, you'll be very comfortable. And I'm very pleased when I start, this talk, and I see them, everybody is very scared. And then I see the progress over weeks. And I see them when I bought the slide, and they start, oh, this actually looks like, melanoma in situ. Oh, this looks like, tubular adenoma. We'll start these words in the beginning, they had no clue about. But when they realize that, okay, we have a lot to conquer here, and we'll start step by step, then make it easy on them, show them histology, show them this is the abnormality, we discuss stuff. With time, you have 4 years with I did 2 fellowships, you'll be very comfortable with that. But if you have your first year and you had the shock before that, you will start, your curve will be so high from the beginning. You don't have to have very flat curve in the beginning, or learning curve, I mean.
All right, last question before I let you go, you're quite busy, is what are some of the tips for students who may be starting now? So as they prepare for next September, what are some of the things you want to tell them in terms of tips?
Yes, for preparing for 2026, it is never early, believe me. You start doing everything in the book. The competition is very high, but this is a life event. This is your, career. You have to work very hard. Never say, okay, I think I did well, or I still have time. There is no time. No time for. Take your, everything step by step. Every step is very hectic. Work very hard on every step. Focus on everything. Don't let anything, slipping from your hands. Ask a lot, like, have kind of groups that people, they went through the process, and ask them in everything. Don't feel shy. Experience here is very important. A lot of stuff is unfortunately subjective. Like, someone will ask me question, and others, they will ask me the same question. I have different answers for them, because it's subjective. Some of them, like I see, or well, they have everything in their hand. They're very fresh graduate, very high scores, everything. I told them, okay, don't apply here, or go do this. Others, they are less fortunate. They are like, older graduate or something. I tell them, well, you have chance, but don't do this. Don't like do this way. Do it a different way. And thank God, many times things work out, and they will send me sometimes souvenirs where the places that they are batched in. So meaning that there are different strategy. Ask around always. Ask people before you start working very hard. Don't let it go. Believe in yourself. You can do it. Believe me. I know people who been like 10 and 15 years and they matched people. They even failed steps and they matched. Uh, just keep pushing. Don't worry. It will happen.
Well, thank you, Dr. Tranesh. Much
Yeah.
appreciate your time on a Sunday. And as always, thank you very much for guiding our students. So thank you.
My pleasure. Always, always. Best of luck for everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's move on to our next speaker, who is Suraya. She is our student. So let me give you the access, Suraya. So, Suraya, can you let me see if you can get your camera.
Yeah, can you
Yes, thank you.
hear me better?
So yes, so maybe tell us a bit about yourself, where you are in your USMLE journey, and then which rotation you did, what were your learnings from that rotations, tips for other students who may be starting, things like that.
Yeah, okay. Hi, thanks for having me here. So my name is Surya. So I'm from Chennai, which is the southern part of India. I relocated to Boston here in US. I did my rotation with USMLE Sarthi last year. So I did my family medicine and internal medicine rotations. Uh, so some of the points I'm going to say is like, these are the points I've learned after doing my rotation. I wish these points I would have known before applying the rotations. So first point I would say is like know your specialty of interest, because when I applied for my residency, they asked three LOR from that specialty. So if you are applying for an internal medicine or a family medicine, they need a 3 LORs from internal medicine. Or if you're going to apply for family medicine, they need 3, or some programs ask for 2. So it's best to be prepared. So you need at least 3 LORs from that specialty of interest. So I didn't know about it. So if you are applying for it, so just make sure you know what specialty you're going to apply. So that will help in which rotation you have to choose. And then we have to know our requirements, because some students will prefer telerotation, some prefer inpatient. So I preferred like I just month rotation. So I want to see as many patients as possible, because some doctors who I rotated with, they are like amazing doctors. So they see lots of patients and I've got familiar with their rotations. So that was very helpful. And some doctors, they do like 3 days a week, or some do 2 days a week. So that helpful for some students who are preparing for the steps, because they can do 2 days a rotation and they can study for their steps. So you have to know what you want. Like, do you want to see many patients, or do you want to need time to study? Because some doctors also provide research. Because I've rotated with Dr. Gupta, who's an internal medicine doctor. She did research along with the rotations. So that was very helpful for me, because I was looking for the research and I can get to rotate and do the research at the same time. So you have to know what you want before you apply for the rotation. So that's what I would say. And because there are so many services that the doctors can provide, because I didn't know about this before applying for the rotations, because some doctors like Dr. Goyal, who I rotated with for family medicine, she did the rural clinic as well. So she'll go for the rural clinic. So I have exposure to both rural as well as suburban population. And she also goes to the urgent care. So I have an exposure to urgent care as well. So that was I didn't know about this before applying. So I would have known, okay, so these are the services that the doctor can provide. And because Dr. Gupta, who I rotated with, she did inpatient. So she takes me to the hospital 2 days a week. So that was very helpful, because I can see both inpatient as well as outpatient. And as I mentioned earlier, she did research too. She helped me to submit my case report, my abstract, my poster presentation. She helped me through everything. So that was a bonus for me, because I can rotate with her at the same time I can do a research with her. So that was my point of I will say to other students, know about the services, because the doctor can do so many things, not just rotation. They can offer so many things. Just do you want outpatient? Do you want to do inpatient? Do you want to do research? Do you want to see urgent patients? So you can have so many services that the doctor can provide, that you can research it. You can be people like you can have so many people on Sarthi side too. They're ready to answer. Like I've reached Shayla too. She's ready to answer my questions. So they're open to answer our questions. So they are ready to help us. So we have to use those people as much as we can. And then I would say is location, because I was located in Boston. It was easier for me to go to New York, because New York is a 3 hours drive from Boston. So I'll go to the New York and I'll do my rotations and I can come back to my home for the weekend. So if you have family or friends, any locations you prefer, just go ahead, because if you know the location, you have to know about the climate too, because in eastern states, it's very cold. So the students who I rotated with, they're not prepared for it, because they think, oh, fall, just a fall. No, it's very cold here. You need jacket, you need the clothes, they are not prepared for it. So just prepared, you know about your location, because if you're locating for southern states, it's hotter. So that's not a problem. If you're somebody who doesn't like hot climates, that's you have to make sure, okay, I'm going to this location, so I have to be prepared. Okay, look at the weather, look at the climate, be prepared, and then you have to come to the location. That's what I would say. And then research, because if you're applying for a rotation, if you know, okay, I'm going to apply for this doctor, like look into it. What the service the doctor providing? Do you have any questions? Write it down. Ask the person. Like you can reach so many people. Like there are people in Sadit who can help, or there are students who can answer the questions. So I will say always do your research. Before applying for any rotation, just make sure. Oh, this is for me, or this is not for me. Just make sure, because once you applied it and you like, if you go into it, this that's if you're not expecting that, so make sure that's the one for you. Just make a research, because people are there to help us, so we have to use it. So that's what I would say. So these are the point I learned during my rotations. I wish these points of somebody would have told me earlier, so it would be my rotation would be easier. Thank God I got like good doctors who can help me all through this. I didn't know this about this, but the doctors were very helpful who I rotated with. They guided me each and every step. So I would say, like, do your research and apply for the rotations.
So that was very comprehensive, very detailed. So thank you for that. And Asifa, maybe you can post links to Dr. Gupta and Dr. Goel's rotations, because we've all heard good things about those. So one more question is, you did speak about getting prepared, say, from example, the weather perspective. A lot of students who are coming from outside US, they always have questions about other logistics, the driving or where to stay. How did you research those things, and what are your tips for students, especially coming from outside US, about some of the other aspects like driving, cooking, public transport, stay? What are your views on that?
Oh, actually, I think I'm one of the lucky student, because Dr. Goel and Dr. Gupta both have accommodation available. So I can able to choose both, because staying with them, it was easy for me to travel, because I'm rotating with the same doctor and I'm staying under the same roof. So I'll start with them, and the food, and then everything was they provide me food. They provided with the shelter and everything. So it was easy for me, and it was very safety, because I was living under their home, the same
Right.
room. So it was because safety matters to me, because I was away from my family. So when I knew that I was rotating with the same doctor and I'm living with the same doctor, it was easier for me, because when sometimes the rotation starts earlier. When they start earlier, I know I can travel with them to the hospital. So it was easy for me to travel from my home, because I was staying with them. So I can travel with them also. So it was very easy for me. And the stay was very comfortable, and they provided with food. So I was no need to worry about the food, whatever it is. So they provided me with everything. So I think my rotation was very smooth. So that's what I would say. So both doctors, who I mentioned, Dr. Goyal and Dr. Gupta, they have their accommodation. I didn't know the USMLE Sarthi people. They gave their contact number when I reached them, because I do have some questions. So when I reached the doctors were very open to answer the question. So when I asked the accommodation, they said, like, we have an accommodation available. If you need, you can take it. So I said, yeah, why would I? Because I'm rotating with those doctors. So it will be easier for me to go along with them. So that was my stay. So I felt very comfortable with them.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Raya. This was very helpful. I think your tips will be very useful to the students who are going to start their rotations. So Thank you, and good luck for the match.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Okay, our next speaker is Meet Singh, and after that, I will take up questions. So, you can keep posting the questions in our group. And Asifa has just posted, I think, Dr. Goval's rotations link, and she'll also post, if she has not done so far, Dr. Gupta's rotation. So go to our, website, and you can look for the details or call us. So Meet, hopefully you can, yes, your camera. So welcome, Meet, and let's hear a bit about yourself, your background, learnings from your rotations. How did you prepare, and your tips for other students? I think you also did Dr. Goval's rotations, right?
First of all, thank you for having me. My name is Dr. Meet Singh. I did my graduation. I'm actually from India. I did my graduation from China Medical University, Shenyang, China. So yeah, most of the things I think Dr. Surya covered. I did Dr. Goel's rotation, and I can touch on some brief what Surya covered about Dr. Goel's rotation. So first of all, it's a very helpful rotation in terms of your building your profile for family medicine. It's a you're living with Dr. Goel, and it's a you don't have to worry about the accommodation. You don't have to worry about the food. You go to the rotation, and it's a rural rotation, and also it's an urban rotation. So you will have a chance to work with, and you will have a chance to see both the dynamics of the rural population and how to work with the urban population. That you will see the nuances of how you talk to the patients in a different settings. And Dr. Goel is very flexible with you talking to, and she's very comfortable for you to talking to patients and their family members. You can take full histories from the patients because they are there. She's a primary care physician, so they are their patients from, let's say, 10 years or 15 years. So you can go through EMR system, and you can have all you can read the history of patients. You can talk to their family members as well. You can do the full physical exams as well. You have full liberty to do, let's say you want to do ECG, or if you want to do any test, you can ask for it, and you have full liberty to perform all the tests as well. And also she goes to urgent care. So I did not know what urgent care is because it's a new concept in the US. So it was very insightful. Dr. Goel used to tell me that, okay, I'll take you to the urgent care, and let's see if you wanna do urgent care later in your life, because it's a very convenient way of let's say practicing medicine. It's not like in primary care you have to stick with the patient for a longer time, but in urgent care you have a flexible schedule and you can work it out however you want to. And she practices 4 days in clinic, and 1 day she practiced for telemedicine. So this telemedicine was very new to me as well, because I never experienced telemedicine as well. So I like the concept that you can work from home or you can work from outskirts of wherever you are, and it gives you liberty to schedule the appointments on your own behalf, and you have the liberty to not go to the clinic and stay at home and perform or check the. It saves time. It saves time for the patient as well, and it saves time for the physician as well, and it gives a really good provide a good care to the patient as well. And due to there's a lot of patients. Let's say there are you seeing 60 to 70 patients a day. So there's the number of patients are too much. So you're gonna see a lot of curious cases in your rotation to find research projects. I think most of the students were there. Every one of them they found one or two curious cases to write case reports. In fact, we did poster presentation in IMG event in New York as well. So you will always find some curious cases to write case reports or whatever you find interesting with.
Yeah. And Meet, what are your tips for students who may be starting rotations now, for 26 or maybe even 27 math? What should they focus on? What should they be prepared for? What should they try to learn during the rotations?
So I would say start early. Don't say that, okay, I'll find rotations, start finding rotations when it's April. And sometimes what happens is you start finding rotations in March, late, let's say June or July, and rotations are full. You don't get a slot. So start booking your rotations really early. And as per the preparation, you can prepare with I think general step 2 you world, or if you're preparing for step 3, I think that's a good amount of knowledge you're going to have and perform good in your rotations, because they're going to ask you the simple questions about the treatment plans, the little bit of nuances you're going to learn in the rotations, because the dosings, I know the U world and the exams, they don't teach you the dosing and the combination of drugs. You're going to learn that in your rotations pretty well, so don't worry about that. You're going to have, if you have basic understanding of diagnosis and the other stuff, you're going to be good for the rotation. Yeah.
And what were some of the things you wish you knew before you started the rotation? Like, Saraya mentioned some of the things that students typically miss, weather related and all that. What were some things that were a surprise to you before you started the rotation?
So with Dr. Goyal's rotation, I would say be prepared for the timings. So because the hours going to be long, so be prepared for it, because it's going to be long days. It's going to be 10-hour days. So be prepared to, if you are preparing for some exams, so be ready for the managing time. So because you're going to have on the weekdays, you're going to have, let's say, 2 to 3 hours to just study. So be prepared for that you're going to manage that time pretty well. And on the weekends as well, you should be able to have good understanding beforehand that, okay, you're going to manage that time pretty well and enjoy as well. I'm not saying it, don't enjoy, make connections with physicians, because it's gonna serve you in a long way. Because Dr. Goyal is she was involved in Garnet Health has a residency program, so she was involved in that residency program as well. So be be ready for all the situations there as well. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Meet. I appreciate your time and tips for other students who may be starting next season. So thank you, and good luck in your math journey.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you. All right. Let's now move on. Today, I'm going to be answering all the questions that you guys had from even yesterday. But before we do that, Kuheli from our team, a lot of questions about how to look for rotations. And also, Kuheli, if you can share your screen and tell them where to look for rotations.
Yeah, sure.
So there are two kind of pages. You can directly go to our rotations page, which is residency match right here, as you can see, residencymatch.usmlesarthi.com. We have some housing also, like Meet and Suraya were saying. So if you want to look for housing, but otherwise click on clinical rotations, and then you can filter, as you will see, by special. You got to read the terms, conditions, and after that, you actually can create an account. That always helps. That way you don't have to log in again and again, but continue as a guest for now, and then you can look for specialties, you can look for type of rotations, because I do see questions around, hands-on, tele, observership. So all that you can filter, you can pick the state if you want, right? And even rotation setting, inpatient, outpatient, whatever that rotation is, LOR type, what letterhead you are getting. A lot of students have questions, and I'll talk about all of that. Sometimes there are offers that the physicians have. Sometimes, if you may want to check PD rotation, sort by fee, because our rotations start at 250. So all of that you can directly do here if you want to do all that. There's another page that we have, and so under our main website, www.usmlesarthi.com/clinical rotations, like right here. And here we have, you can read through and all of that. But there's a Google Sheet right here, which you can download. So, Kuheli, yes. So go to this checkout Sarthi rotations page. It'll take you to a list of all rotations on one page. So this is what you can, very brief summary. What is the specialty, state, type of rotations? You can sort everything, whether you have EMR access, yes, no. And if you click on any of the location codes, it will take you to the detailed page as well. So that's something that I wanted to show you in case you are interested. So thank you, Kuheli, for that quick demo. All right, now as promised, I am going to answer a lot of questions that I see on the screen. First, how do you select type of rotation? So to select type of rotations, you have to look at various parameters, whether it is hospital or a outpatient clinic. That's one. Second, whether it is externship or observership, so hands-on versus observership. Third, what is the letterhead of the rotation, whether it is a clinic letterhead, whether it is the hospital or a university letterhead. And then, of course, how much customization of the letterhead, whether you'll get a letter which is personalized or customized. So you have to look at all of this and see what works for you. For example, if you do only observerships, that is not going to help. I always recommend at least one rotation in a university setting. That always helps. But if you do all four there without hands-on, that may not be the best idea. So you need a combination of hands-on and, if you are in a university setting, observership. So hands-on you typically get in a clinic setting. So you have to look at all these parameters. And typically, the hospital LOR where they have residency is very, very useful. And generally, the physicians have their clinic where you can do a lot of hands-on. In the university system, when it comes to inpatient rounding, you're mostly an observer, but it's not a bad thing. It is also a good thing. So look at all these factors before you decide on what rotation to pick. So one question I see is, will gap after graduation be a big red flag? It depends on the duration of the gap. If you have maybe 6 months or so, that is okay. But anything more than 6, 9 months, 1 year can be a big red flag. Okay, so, and the same applies for if you take a break within MBBS. I think taking a 6 months break to prep for the exam, to prep for rotations, etc., is okay. If you took 2-3 years of break within MBBS, then yes, it could become an issue. How do I get LOR from the facilities after rotations? Does Sarthi help me with the process? And the answer is yes. We only give waived LORs. All our physicians will give waived LORs. So we will help you after the rotation. Is there a discount for students or graduates who already rotated through Sarthi? So if you are joining our match plan, yes, there are rotations. So write to us, contact@usmlesarthi.com. We'll let you know what discounts are currently available. Is it possible to get a SLOE for emergency medicine for IMG medical graduates? Yes, that is correct. We have some rotations in emergency medicine where you get standardized letter of evaluation. So that is available. Does backlogs in MBBS affect matching? It depends on the type of program, type of specialty you're trying to match. Sometimes university programs can look into your transcript, but community programs do not generally. All right. I am yet to take step 1 by Feb of next year. A little bit confused about matching process. Even after cracking step 1 and CK, how much probability is there for getting matched? So we will have more webinars on this. I always do a Friday Instagram live, but I will tell you. So step 1, CK, high score, depending on the specialty, relevant research, and some volunteering can always help. So in addition to USCE, so it all depends on your profile and score. But the good thing is IMGs, even visa seeking IMGs, match every year. In fact, 62% of the interviews that Sarthi students have received this season, 62% is for visa seeking IMGs. So match is difficult, but it's not impossible. It can happen for you. Does Sarthi provide any step 3 coaching? No, unfortunately, no step 3 coaching, but we can direct you to some resources. Can Sarthi help me getting into alternate pathway in radiology? And the answer is yes. We do have panelists who have intimate familiarity with radiology, alternate pathway. Of course, this assumes that you have home country residency in radiology, but yes, we can definitely help you. Email contact@usmlesarthi.com, CONTACT. So, Asifa, maybe you can post that email or give them Sonia's email. And anyone who's interested in alternate pathway, we can definitely help. Ideal time to start rotations for 2026. That is a very good question. And yes, it is correct that in July, August, September, there'll be too many students. That's always how it goes. So if you are starting for 2026 match, I think anytime after, say, November, December till April, May is an excellent time to do rotations because there are less number of students, you get to see more patients, you work very closely with any preceptor. So the LOR also can be very, very customized and personalized. Of course, less students means more housing options and cheaper options. All of that really helps. Do we need visa invitation letters for all rotations for securing B1, B2 visa? So it depends on you. If you are interested, we have either an immigration lawyer that we can help you with the letter. You can get it on Sarthi letterhead. Some physicians also offer invite letters. So if you need it, yes, we can offer it. Can we match if we apply after 3 years of graduation? Of course, it does not mean that people with 3, 4, 5 years of graduation don't match. In fact, we have interviews at this point, people who have 20 plus year of YOG. So it all depends on a lot of factors. And every year you can see on our page also people 15 plus, 10 plus years of YOG matching. So it's not that it is impossible. It depends, of course, on scores and other profile. All right. What other questions can I answer? How does internal medicine residency from India, will that be of any credit? Undergraduate MBBS YOG 2019. So yes, absolutely. Home country residency in the relevant specialty is your ticket to match. It is an excellent advantage to have if you have done internal medicine residency and you are planning for IM residency here. Absolutely, you have a big advantage. Is it okay to go for rotations before completing step 1? I generally prefer if you've done step 1, unless you've been working in India and you're familiar with the healthcare system, then you may want to do it before step 1, but generally try to do it after step 1. We do have a complete timeline blog that we can share with you on when we recommend to do what. What can I do for next year if I have 1 year, because ECFMG does not have the sponsor note? So, of course, keep working. I think work is always a good idea. Don't sit at home. Obviously, assuming you will prepare for the STEP exam, then I think research would be something good that you can do along with your work. Rotations, I would say recent rotations are more valuable. It does not mean that the older rotations don't hold value. But let's say you are applying in September 26th, just picking up a date. Then do your rotation starting December of 2025. That helps. Okay, so I have rotated in IM as a junior resident in MAMC, worked in JR cardiology, hepatology, nephrology. Of course, it will help you in IM, cardiology, nephrology, everything is an IM subspecialty. So that is a good thing. And ICMR always helps. Do you provide research opportunities? And yes, the answer is yes. And maybe Asifa, you can post a link for the research page also. So it's all on our web page. Go to the website, and there is on the top, you will see research options. I have doubts around visa application. Would there be any seminar on that? So yes, thank you for your feedback. We will very soon, maybe in the next month, bring our immigration attorney. She's based out of Texas, and also maybe our visa counselor help in India, so they can help answer questions on visa. All right. Can we do observerships on B1? Yes, you can. Can we do rotations once we apply for match and later submit the LOR? Now, you can submit the LOR. I don't think the programs will download it after you do the application. So rotations is always a good idea, because in the interviews you can tell them what are you doing, but don't do it for the LOR. However, getting the LOR is a good idea, because if in the unfortunate scenario that you don't match in the current season, you can always roll over the LOR for the next season. I want to join research with ICMR. Please, can you guide me? ICMR, you'll have to work with your college or folks in India, that ICMR fellowship. We don't have much information on their latest policy. Help with alternate pathway for ped surgery. Yes, we can, as part of our plans for next season. It'll probably be a platinum plan. I have 6 months research in India under a doctor, but no publication. Will it help me? It can. I mean, it will help you how to write your research experience in the ERAS CV. But of course, unfortunately, you don't have a paper, so that makes it hard. Can we do all our rotations from the same state, or is it a red flag? I need to see your profile, and then, this is something we guide our students on, because based on the profile, we may suggest certain states, we may suggest certain locations. In general, I like to see diversity. Is it possible to get hands-on rotation after graduation? Very important question, and the answer is yes. There is a lot of misconception about it. Yes, you can do hands-on rotations after graduation. These are typically in the clinics where you can do hands-on. So try those rotations where you get hospital LORs. And we have a lot of such rotations like Asifa or Kuheli showed you. Go to those websites. But yes, all graduates can do hands-on. There are certain states that don't allow hands-on, so you avoid those states. Maybe California, Pennsylvania, some of those states don't allow hands-on after graduation. Difference between hospital letterhead and other types of letterhead. So let me give you a hierarchy of LOR letterheads. So hospitals with residency, whether they are university or community hospitals, are always on the top. If you're getting letterhead, that is always a good idea. And then there are rotations that you can do in clinics but also the physician may be affiliated. So you may actually be able to get a hospital LOR. Generally try for hybrid where you can do some inpatient rounding in the hospital. And then there are other independent clinics. Now, independent clinics are where it is very hard to convince the program because, like Dr. Coleman yesterday mentioned, if you do it with a clinic or based in, say, Rush University or something, it brings in a lot of credibility when programs see your LOR. If you are doing it at an independent clinic, then it's hard to build that credibility. Is inpatient mandatory, or can I just do 4 outpatient rotations and I'll be fine? So it's not mandatory, but it is good to have if you can get 1 inpatient rotation. And by 1 inpatient rotation, I mean at least you can get rounding experience, 2-3 days a week. That really helps. But otherwise, outpatient rotations are fine. What do you mean by alternate pathways and which specialties have it? Alternate pathways, as the name suggests, what is the traditional pathway? Traditional pathway is you go to residency, then you do fellowship, etc., or you practice after residency once you clear the board. Certain specialties and certain fellowships have given you alternate pathway. Radiology is one of the oldest. So if you have home country residency in radiology, you don't have to do residency here in the US. You can directly go to a couple of fellowships, do the boards and practice. So that is called an alternate pathway. Most of these, including direct fellowships like in nephrology, ID, geriatrics, will need home country residency and ECFMG certification. Do you offer internal medicine clinical research sponsoring J1 visa? So that is a very good question. Yes, we have been talking with a couple of faculty. They will probably be able to sponsor H1B. There are a lot of research institutes here, and H1 actually would be a good thing for most of you. You don't want to do J1, but we can offer research on H1. My biology is 8 years. What are the chances I can get residency? It all depends on your scores, relevant profile, and research. Like I said, a lot of students, 5-year plus, 10-year plus, can get residency. Is LOR a PDF that I submit, or does program send emails to the doctor? So very good question. So for those of you who are just starting this journey, LOR is 2 types, waived and unwaived. Waived LOR means you have waived your right to see the content of the LOR. So that means the physician with whom you did rotation uploads it directly. You don't get to see it. So programs don't send email to the preceptor and saying, how was this student, how was that student? So the preceptors will upload the LOR. Does the duration of rotation 1 month, 3 months, 6 months matter with the type of LOR? Yes, of course it matters. If you do 6 months rotation, the LOR has to be very, very strong. It has to show progressive growth in you as a physician. Maybe you started just with history, physical, patient interaction, and then you took more responsibility. So absolutely, 6 months LOR has to be very different than 1 month LOR. Alternate pathways, I just explained. Unless you have a home country residency, there's no point in discussing alternate pathways. All right. Couple of other questions before we wrap up. Is there any other question that I can answer? My idea of this webinar is to make sure that all of you who are starting on their USMLE journey can get to know the importance of this rotations, research, and stuff. So it can definitely help you. And now that a lot of you are starting, let me also tell you something else, which is importance of volunteering. Volunteering is very, very important in this journey. It is expected of you. We do have a non-profit for those of you who are interested, completely free. We offer work, volunteering work, and you can check out this website, teenheal.org. If you are interested, it's a US-based nonprofit. Let me share my screen. And we are focused on young adults, teens, adolescents. And one of the things that we are trying to do is social media addiction and substance abuse. So for those of you who are looking for volunteering, as you can see, we have a special section for IMGs. At this point, social media addiction is the program we are focused on. And whether you are in India, Pakistan, other countries, this is something that if you are interested, we are looking for volunteers. So let us know if you are interested in volunteering. Okay, back to the last few questions. When will you do such lectures again? I was late. Well, we do it generally weekly, bi-weekly. So there will be a lot of webinars. You can subscribe to our Instagram and YouTube. So Kuheli, please post links to our Instagram channel and the YouTube. So if you subscribe to some of our social media handles, you will get more information. For those of you who are interested in volunteering, I'm going to give you an email, contact@usmlesarthi.com. So write to this email and we can help you. Definitely looking for volunteers in the US or outside US, something that you can do anywhere. It does come with an LOR if you need an LOR, especially in family medicine, IM, etc. So I just posted the email contact, CONTACT, contact@usmlesarthi.com. Send us and we will get back to you on the type of work you can do. I'm on my first USCE, no steps taken so far. Should I target September 25? Of course, you can target September 25. Step 1 is pass fail, but I leave it to you. CK scores are very important. So it depends on all of that. So Kuheli has just posted the URL to our YouTube channel for those of you interested. It's obviously a lot of content, all free. Subscribe to this. And also our Instagram handle is USMLE Sarthi. So Instagram as well. So Kuheli has posted. Just follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and we will keep you updated as well. Is it better to do volunteering in the US with your organization or in home country? Will it make a better impact? So our volunteering is global. We are a global company. The name of the company, the volunteering company, is also international and it's a US-based company. You can do with our company in your home country. So it's, if you're looking for an international US-based company's letter, then you can try it. But of course, you may have better options in your home country. I don't know, but it's up to you. We do offer volunteering as well. Does completing step 1 and CK before rotations be okay? Yes, absolutely. It is okay. A lot of students do that step 1 CK, then come to US, do 3-4 months of USCE. All right. So thank you all. I hope this was useful. And like many of you know, we do these regularly. For those of you starting the USMLE journey, our webinars are always free, YouTube, Instagram. We try to do monthly, twice a month, maybe sometimes, depending on the topic. Right now we're focused on interview preparation and some of that stuff, but rotations, research. Very soon we'll do a webinar on research and on visa. So hopefully this has helped you all. And my best wishes for the upcoming festival season. Those of you who celebrate festivals, all kinds, we are a global company, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Diwali, the Shara just went by. So good luck. Congratulations to be in part of this journey. And let us know if we can help you in any way.
Thank you so much for watching. We hope that video provided valuable insights for your journey. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And check out our website for details on how we can guide you to a successful match.